Alright, fellas, welcome back to Prep Talk with me, Coach Rio, and my co-host, Coach Sari. This is episode 28, right? Yeah, right. Okay, so Coach 28, like I said, we always have special guests. For today's special guest, we have the man himself, Mr. Alex there. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. Honored to be on your podcast. I've been looking forward to it, so yeah.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's very hard for us to arrange time. You're busy in itself. You start your day always around 3 a.m.
Yeah.
What I see.
Yeah.
I'm following you closely. Yeah. How's everything been? I mean, how have Singapore been good to you?
Singapore's treated me and my family very well, yeah. I mean, I came here about 17 years ago now myself. And previous to that, my parents were here for about 25 years. So I used to come here on school holidays as a kid, see my parents, and I was also at an all-boys boarding school in the UK. So yeah, Singapore's home to me, and me and my family plan on staying here for a long time. We love it here, and yeah, so I feel a lot more Singaporean than I do British, to be honest.
But still, your conversation doesn't have the love into it.
Yeah, well, I can work on that. My son does. My son's really, his English is on point.
Awesome. Alright, I mean, with that, right, with you transitioning from having from UK to Singapore, so I mean, what made the move for you to come here to Singapore?
Well, when I was in the UK, I guess I wasn't really going anywhere, so I was working as a bouncer and also working in a call centre at the same time. So, both, they were jobs, but they weren't really, I'm not going to go anywhere with those jobs eventually. And working on the doors as well was becoming a little bit high risk with some of the stuff that was going on, and it was, there was lots of fighting and getting arrested and all this sort of stuff going on.
Were you in a game?
No, it was just because, we were working in some rough bars, so you have to get you basically got to fight every night, and there was a few occasions where, they want to press charges against you, and then it goes to,
vice versa.
It was just getting a bit messy, so my parents suggested that I just can it all in, come to Singapore and see how things work.
How old are you then?
About 25. So I actually reluctantly came. I wasn't really that keen on it because I was used to that lifestyle.
Yep.
Like I wasn't very responsible financially or anything. I was bodybuilding and competing, but I didn't really care about anything. I wasn't really I didn't have.
So that first visit was your first ever visit to Singapore?
No. I've been many times before.
All right.
This was more of an official. You're coming here to see if you can start your life here, basically.
Sure.
So I came and I thought, I'm going to go back, I'm going to stay here. And then I got...
What changed your mind?
My dad was actually a good influence on me, and he was pushing me at the time, and I didn't like it.
Right.
But he was like, you need to make sure you get... Because back then there was a pass that you could do, to search for work.
Yep.
That's long gone. So he's like, get that EPEC, get it, apply for it. So I got it, and then I think I just sent off some random CVs, and I got a job at Sky Fitness.
Oh, nice.
Went out of business a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a funny place to work as well. I was there for about 6 months, then I went to the American Club for a couple of years, and then from there I set up my own business. And then it didn't take me long to realise that this was the place to be, that I wanted to be here, and this was a good place to live, and potentially build a career in the fitness. I wasn't really in the fitness industry before. I did my degree in sports and exercise science at university, but I didn't really do anything with it when I left.
Oh, really? Even in the UK?
Yeah, in the UK. There wasn't a lot of opportunities, to be honest. Nothing like working in a gym. And everybody wants you to have experience when you come out of university, and it's just not that easy.
Right.
So it was hard to find work, so that's why I ended up working in a call centre.
Were you doing bodybuilding by then?
Yes, I was bodybuilding. I started my bodybuilding journey in university. So I did my first competition when I was, I think, in my second year at university, and then kind of hooked from there. I was always very curious about the whole thing and wanted to get into it. I just didn't know how. And then I approached a guy in the gym who I'm still in contact with now, a guy called Paul, who got me basically. We started training with him, and then it just went from there. Then I entered my first show, and then I went to. Actually, the first year I ended up competing against Flex Lewis in the British finals.
Oh, really? Did you take a picture of that?
Of course, he blew me away. He was on another level. He won absolutely every show he entered.
How young were they?
We were 21 then.
The same age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were in the juniors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we did the juniors, and he was, when he stripped down backstage, you're like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
Okay, I'm gonna go home now. But yeah, so that.
But back then he was already with Neil?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I understand.
So yeah, so that was interesting. And then yeah, from there that was my passion, and it was what I wanted to do.
Well,
But
was there someone coaching you?
I had a couple of people guiding me here and there, but not proper coaches really. I think I probably actually, a friend of mine who owns a couple of gyms in the UK, he helped me through my competition preps for my first few shows when I was there, and also a couple when I was here. And then I worked with Matt Porter for a couple of seasons. Yeah. And then now I'm with Peter Costello, who's a fantastic coach, and to be honest, I don't think I'll ever work with anyone else. Like we just gel really well. He knows my body really well, so I just enjoy the whole process. I mean, he's very pays a lot of attention to details. Yep. So I check in with him every single day, weight pictures,
I can see that.
and there's like manipulations, and just maintain a certain condition that I'm trying to do consistently now. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with I've had periods where I haven't had a coach, and to be honest, I need one. For just someone to keep me accountable, keep me in check, and also the second pair of eyes, because I tend to make bad decisions on my own.
Very normal, right?
Like I'll make bad calls, or I'll be a lot more conservative. So like he might say, right, we're really going to push the carbs up. We're going to do 1,000 grams today and more tomorrow. And I wouldn't do that myself. I'd be like, man, that's too much. Or I'd be like, I'll go have double cheeseburger, double large fries tonight because you asked me. I'm not going to do that on my own. No way. But if he says to do it, I'll do it. But yes, sir, I'll do it. So.
Alright, before we always step into that training part and the coaching part and stuff, right? So we want to go back again to the time you reached Singapore and stuff. I mean, how did you settle down? And I know you're married here,
Yes, yeah.
How you met your wife and how long?
Yeah, so I met my wife after I'd been here. I got here in 2009. We met in 2013 online, Match.com.
Oh,
is
it still
yeah.
I
think actually no, it was at Singapore. No, it was Match.com and Singapore Love Links.
Alright.
I met her on Match.com and then she snubbed me.
I'm gonna register now.
And she winked at me on Singapore Love Links again later on. So she told me that she thought I was too young back then. But yeah, then now we've got a 5-year-old. She's about 3 years old. She's not like she's a cougar or anything.
Nice.
Yeah. So then we've now been married. It'll be 11 or 12 years this year.
She's in the same industry?
No. She's got her own business, real estate business, and she also works for a company that do like indoor air quality monitoring devices. So she's like more like marketing, sales, that kind of thing. So completely different.
So you guys been married for
getting on 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
That's fantastic and stuff. So with that said, I mean, when you're in Singapore, did you carry on your journey as an athlete?
Yeah. So I think the second year here, I went back to the UK and I competed. And I actually won that show. So that I did like Miss North East Britain. That was 2010. So I've been here a year. So then I got back into it, and then from there I met up with Terry, who was the guy who was running the IFBB here, who started up here back then, or restarted it, should I say. And I ended up going to the Arnold's in 2011, and then the Arnold's Europe in 2012, and then I competed, I think, in the Philippines in a short road classic in 2014. And then my next one was 2017, which was a global classic in Macau. And then I had a bit of a downtime, and I did a show in an IFBB Pro League show in Bangkok 2022.
That was 2022, right?
Yeah, so quite spaced out. Looking back, I sometimes think I wish I'd just like been really regular competing, but I was really irregular actually.
I mean, with the being irregular, right? I mean in bodybuilding, basically we all know that it's a marathon.
Yeah.
Being regular can have the downside, and being irregular can be a downside as well.
Yeah.
So when being irregular, I mean, what kind of development that have you made for yourself in terms of in every different shows?
I guess conditioning was a big thing for me. So as I got more mature and I got older, that was my primary focus, is just coming in as hard and dry and lean as possible. Whereas in the early days, when I look back, I'm like, actually I was quite soft in some of those shows that I did when I was younger. And I actually felt like I suffered a lot more on the preps. Yeah, like, I just found it harder to stay disciplined. Like I was like craving everything under the sun, and like if I was given a cheat day, like I really had a cheat day. Like I would start at midnight till midnight until I threw up basically, and I would go all at it. Whereas with maturity, I kind of a lot changed. Yeah, I scaled back, and I kind of I wanted more discipline rather than trying to just like take any opportunity to go off track that I could. And back then, I also didn't. In the off season, I had no structure. So I just basically, eat as much as I could. So up to like 10,000 calories a day. I tried to get as big and heavy as possible. So usually I'd be walking around like 135 to 150 kilos back then. So yeah, just not particularly healthy. And it was just a size game. That's how it was. Everyone did it back then, particularly in the UK, in the bodybuilding scene. Everyone was just trying to get as heavy as they could in the off season. And then basically, you only really took your diet seriously during prep. So which made it so much harder. I mean, yeah, you're trying to get a lot of food in the off season, but it wasn't that structured. That a lot's changed now. Like and now I try and stay structured all year round, like almost on prep all year round. But I just feel a lot better. I think I look a lot better, and if I decide to go into a show or anything like that, or a photo shoot, I can dial it in a few weeks instead of having to take 16 to 20 weeks to do it, because I've got so much body fat to lose.
Exactly. So I mean, you have never competed here in Singapore?
No.
Why not? You smoke that?
Not at all. I mean, there's some fantastic athletes here. A lot of whom maybe don't even get what they deserve in terms of their placing in awards. That's a different topic. But no, because initially I was competing with NABA when I first got here, so in the UK. So I wanted to do like NABA Britain and all that sort of stuff. So I was kind of following on with that. And then when I met Terry, who's picked the IFBB up again, there was a lot of conflict between that and the existing SBBF back then as well. So that was a bit of a shit show. So I just kind of thought it was better just to stay out of the way.
True, for sure.
And I didn't really know what the situation would be if I did try and compete. Would I get like penalized in some way, shape, or form? Not sure. I would. I mean, ultimately, it would make so much sense to do it because I wouldn't have to travel. But then, because I later on took over the IFBB Federation here for a period of time, then I wasn't allowed to compete with anybody else anyway. So I was very much restricted as to who I could compete with. Certainly not anyone else in Singapore, because that would definitely mean another organisation. And then, since then I did. There was one show that I think that was supposed to happen that didn't happen that I was going to do here, an IFBB Pro League show, and that's it. So it was kind of partially intentional, but partially just the way that things panned out.
Okay.
But for me, it would now if I was to compete in Singapore, I'd have to be just sure that it was a fairly run show and a show that was well organised. There's the two big things for me now. I don't even I say I don't care about the results. Everyone cares about the results, but I just want to be able to go there, do my thing, enjoy the process, and not have any stress. If I was to do it again. I'm not sure if I will.
Being yourself as an athlete, right? And like you mentioned, you met Terry, you ran into IFBB, then you take that I would say that step to run the show. With Terry, right?
No, Terry left by then, so he asked me to take over for him.
So when he mentioned that to you, what was running on your mind? What was the vision for you?
I thought that it would be a great opportunity back then to create a good platform for athletes here to go on to the next level and to be able to get good international exposure, and also to create a good fair platform, because I've heard lots of things that were going on, a good fair platform for athletes to compete in Singapore, and to also attract athletes from outside of Singapore to come and compete in Singapore. So that was my main thing. It's just to try and I guess help athletes here.
Yeah, so on that moment, I mean, knowing that there's this conflict against BBF, right? And you're taking charge into terrorist position.
Yeah.
Were there any people around you that's helping you, or anyone that's supporting you in terms of funding and stuff like that?
No, so we had no funding
You were
support whatsoever.
on your own.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what the perception was or what people thought happens when I was the president. We don't get paid a salary. We don't, well, at least I didn't. We don't get funded for the shows, nothing, zero. We have to pay sanction fees, and if we want to award programs, we have to pay fees for those.
How much is it per month?
It varies, you can negotiate with it actually, but I think it was about €5,000 per card.
So as you
That adds up.
But that adds up if you have every category.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yes. It's not for the whole show.
No.
Oh, it's per category.
Per category.
Yeah.
Per card.
Per card.
It was something like that anyways. And then of course we have to, you basically have to use your own money to fund the show. So to book the venue, to get all of the lighting, all of it. There's so much that goes into it. I mean, I didn't have a clue. There's a steep learning curve. And then of
You were
course,
running on all alone.
my wife did. To be honest, my wife was the main instigator here in terms of organising everything, because she's good at stuff like that. And we had a couple of other people who contributed a lot, like a guy called Preston. If you know Preston, he helped a lot. There was a few others who were involved back then. But mainly the main orchestrator of it all was my wife, and I was just kind of in the background, really, because I'm not that good at organising things like that. They're the organise my own schedule. So.
Were it challenging for you? I mean, running this.
Yeah.
I mean, with some people helping out you, having this relationship things with your wife, and she's helping you out. Probably they'll have a lot of back and forth.
It does. Yeah, it puts a lot of stress on the relationship. But I think we agreed not to do it again, to be honest, because there's the financial stress.
Yeah.
Because it's our money.
True.
That's on the line. So you've got a significant chunk of money that you could potentially lose if you don't get enough sponsors, athletes, and attendees.
Exactly.
Right. So you have to make sure. So you've got to try and make sure that all those things happen, just so you don't lose any money.
Yep.
Forget making any money, and believe me, you don't make much money at all on these shows.
Okay, that's good that you mentioned that in terms of your sponsor, athlete, attendees and stuff, right? So let's touch base on the sponsor first. I mean, how tough were you to penetrate through to get that sponsor support?
Very difficult. Lots of hard work for that, and some of them were quite difficult as well. They wanted to change the terms.
As I know, as a local here, how skeptical are they in terms of sponsoring? All right, Alex, I'm on board.
There was some surprising people who came on board, but ultimately, what they wanted out of it was, that their terms tended to change as we got closer to the show. So we had a bit of disagreements going on up to the actual show date itself in some cases, and
even though you signed the clause and stuff.
Yeah, the relationships were not particularly great after that, because of how they wanted to change their demands at the last minute, which also for us as the organisers wasn't acceptable in terms of what they were asking, the way that it would look on us as well. But we had some really great local sponsors as well, people that supported us a lot and helped us, like NutriFirst was one of them. They were pretty much supportive with all the events that we ran. But when you run events like of course, ideally as an organizer, you want to get cash sponsors, right?
Yes.
Most people just want to give you products.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you can only have so many products, and if they don't pay for the show, you can't pay MBS.
Do you think that's a Singapore issue? Right, with the sponsoring, they only want to give product rather than.
Probably not, but I mean, for example, if we're approaching the big supplement brands, they're not interested in Singapore. They're like, only want to talk to the US. Singapore's a tiny market.
Yeah, very tiny,
So-
very niche.
Yeah, so you might get some local vendors of supplements that'll come on board, like NutriFirst, for example. But you're not going to get Optimum Nutrition to sponsor you. Then you'll be like, huh? Okay. So
Fair enough,
you know, we had a lot of conversations like that. So it was difficult, but we managed to pull it through. That combined with athlete registrations, combined with attendee sign-ups and things like that, managed to get it over the line. The cash sponsors were very difficult to come by.
How much, can I ask, how much do you manage to get amount of cash sponsor for the show?
Honestly, I don't really remember now.
Is it a fair deal for you? I mean, do you think it's like...
There were little pockets of it, so it wasn't
Okay.
like, you know, one person coming in with like a lot of cash necessarily. We had to use lots of different sponsors that were doing a little bit, and put that together. And then there's a lot of products, like I said, as well. So we had like my house was full of like protein powders and you know, like these like drinks and stuff like that.
How long did you plan for, let's say, for the show of strength?
It was so the show of strength. The first show of strength we ran actually happened because the Arnold Classic Asia got cancelled last minute.
Oh.
So we thought, I thought, right, let's do this. We'll give another opportunity for people to compete. I was supposed to compete at the Arnold's, actually.
How many weeks out of from the Arnold to?
And then I ended up doing the Global Classic. That was, I think the Arnold was supposed. We didn't have long, actually, really. We actually pushed the show of strength a bit later than when the Arnold's would have been. But I think I was halfway, at least a good halfway into my prep when they announced that it was off. And they didn't, all they said was, basically it's been, I don't remember how the word they used, but basically it ain't happening, and we're not going to tell you why.
It's very
So there was people who had registered from all over the world to go to Hong Kong for this Arnold Classic, and nothing. So I thought maybe we can organise something for those who wanted to go and compete there, and give them, make it a bit more interesting. So make it a multi-strength sport event, a bit like the Arnold.
That's what I remember. They have CrossFit.
So we had all sorts of like arm wrestling, CrossFit, what else? Powerlifting, strongman, all sorts of stuff. So we tried to be a bit creative with it, which created a lot more work, obviously, bringing all this together. But I think it was a good overall, a well-received event. It was, people enjoyed it. I think.
Roughly how many attendees?
I think we had about 1,000 for that first one.
Not bad.
Yeah.
It's just one hall, right?
Yeah, I think we get one or two ballrooms and something like that.
That's good, man. That's good. Any question for you?
Because one of my guys competed in that show, and I have one of men's physique. So some of the people who attend, the thing that I wouldn't say one of the complaints, they said that they have the CrossFit behind you, and then you can't hear what the whole thing is going on. The back room, you can hear all the noise like banging around, stuff like that. But other than that, it was we mix, or rather almost as close as the Arnold Classic, as close.
Yeah, it's as close as we could get,
Yeah.
I think, really. I mean, could it have gotten a lot bigger? Potentially, maybe.
Because after that, one of my boss used to run a supplement company, so he attended that just to see how well it's run. He actually wanted to sponsor it if we were to have the following year. But after that, he said, "Hey, what happened?"
Yeah, we did it in 2017 and
Yeah.
2018, and then we did it in 2019 in Manila. And then after that, we did it.
But if I'm not wrong, in the first show of strength in MBS, you can actually see the up and rising all the men's physique guys that remember I ever coached before, right?
Yeah,
they were in that show.
Yeah, and some of those now are actually doing very well.
Yeah, some of them are doing very well. It's like something like they see that they can do this, right? And look, rather than having SBBF doing all the show, right? And then now they can branch out, but the only thing that they have to run it by themselves, they have to come out their own pocket money to register for all this, and then they find that, oh, I think this is way better than being linked to SBBF. And I wouldn't say I've been to one of them in things saying that, okay, you're going to compete in this category and you make sure that you win, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So this is way more transparent.
So I've heard a lot about those kind of things, and that's the last thing we wanted to happen. So I did everything possible to try and reassure people that at the very least they were getting a fair run.
Yep.
So making sure that the judges were not conflicting with anyone on stage. So if someone was coaching or knew someone personally who was on stage, they were taken out of the judging panel, at least for that category. And just trying to make sure that the guys and girls who were judging were trustworthy and respected people, rather than questionable individuals potentially. So, because the trust thing is massive, you know, like it takes a long time to build up and it's lost like that.
Yeah.
All you need is a few like really dodgy, obviously
Yeah.
dodgy decisions, and then it's game over for you, because then that reputation stays with you.
For sure. So I mean, we've said that, right? I mean, how was the judging panel? How did you go around and choose your judging panel for show?
I tried to pick experienced, respected people. So we had people like Joan Liu, Augustine. We had Barbara, Andrew,
AJ, right?
Yeah. People like that on board. And then we had some international judges like James Stokes come over with a couple of others like Rowena from the Philippines. So a little bit of mixture there. And people who I just thought were decent human beings, basically. They knew what they were looking for, so they compete themselves. They have judged before, and some of them are, you know, qualified for the judges too. So they know what they're talking about. They know what to look for. They don't need coaching. We had a few people shadow judge as well who wanted to judge, but they weren't qualified. So I said, okay, you can sit there, you can do your score, but it doesn't count. You can sit next to like Augustine or something like that, and see how your scores compare, you know, and learn. So there was a few like that, but we didn't actually count their scores.
Fair enough.
It was just because they wanted to be involved, and it was something that they would have liked to have done. I actually ended up judging on the first show because someone didn't show up.
I see.
So, which I did not want to do, actually. But you know, I think I managed okay. But
I mean,
I'm not a qualified judge, but I had no choice. It was like me or who, I don't know. So
how do you basically recognize or even say that someone is a qualified judge?
Well, now of course they will have judging set.
There's currently just recently that they have these.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are people who will have judged in other competitions here in Singapore and internationally before, and actively judging. So that was one of the main criteria. You know what you're doing, and also that you have a good reputation. So not someone who would be like, someone who I got to know most of them too. So I trusted them. So that's the most important thing. I trust them, and I know that they know what they're doing.
I mean,
so you can leave them to their own devices. You'd have a head. We had like someone who would be a head judge as well.
Yeah.
So would take the lead and basically brief the other judges, and everyone's on board on the same page.
I feel like judges have to have backgrounds who have been competed before, have seen the stage, have seen competition, so whereby they can understand. Okay, this is what the main judge criteria is. Then we'll look into that, because if you're gonna have judges who doesn't know, have not yet competed, and you sit there, even you're telling me like, alright, I want this, but I don't know shit about competing or even being on stage. I have no idea. It's like, alright, he looks handsome, but that's not the criteria, right? Yeah. So that's why I'm speaking.
So there is potentially the background of having competed themselves, although that's not as important as actually having judged before.
Yeah, true.
Because we had to kind of we didn't have a lot of time, so we had to make sure we could get reliable judges to come and do the job properly. So the number one thing was like, you've judged before, or you're a qualified judge, a well-established, experienced judge, and you are a respected person. You're not someone who's got lots of question marks hanging over them. And most of them had competed to some degree at some point as well. Some at a very high level, some here and there, but they all knew what they were doing. They knew the sport very well.
Alright, I mean, after that, you fall out with them and stuff, right? With the RBB.
Not officially, really. I just
go.
There was a few little fallouts with other representatives, different, one in particular, I guess, but. And that kind of led me to feel like I didn't want to be part of the organisation so much anymore, because I felt like well, if people like this are allowed to represent certain countries or federations, then I don't really want to be part of that anymore.
For sure.
After having experienced their behaviour and seeing how that was tolerated and accepted. So yeah, and all I really wanted was to provide a nice platform for people, let people enjoy themselves on stage, get fairly judged, and get rewarded for what we said we would give as whatever prizes we had. Some of it was cash, some of it was just goodies and things like that. We didn't have big cash prizes. We had this and a little bit, but not much. I think the first show we didn't have any cash prize actually. But it's hard to get that together anyway. And then because if you provide a cash prize, sometimes you have to actually provide it yourself. Because it's difficult to get sponsors to do that in the first place. So and then you've got to put your money where your mouth is, right? So it's better not to commit to something like that unless you are sure as hell you can do it. So,
before we move on from that, this is the question that sometimes my boss had with me. We have a discussion. What would it take for the sponsors that need to come up with their own cash for the fitness industry to change, to make it more, viable, something that the sponsor can easily look, I want to give you 10,000, give it to the athletes. What can the fitness industry here in Singapore change to entice them to do that? In terms of probably ROI or probably the platform that can benefit them. I mean, that's one of the
I think probably ultimately ROI is going to be their number one as a business person. So they've got to think about, okay, so if I sponsor this event, what kind of exposure is my brand or company going to get from this? So the event has to be well marketed, and also an event that has is really reputable and gives a very good experience to not only the athletes but also the people who attend.
Yes,
because that also helps with marketing. Because now with social media, people are going to share lots of things. So if it's good, and then they get that brand is a sponsor and they get more exposure, then that could potentially help them and also lead to higher returns for them.
So based on that, I mean, what can the fitness industry itself in terms of changing the way to market shows? Because I myself sometimes say, there's a show. I don't even know. You know what I mean? Suddenly we get, there's a show. You only see a few snippets here and there on social media. They're not really pushing it.
You've got to really push it. I think you've got to. We were trying to use lots of different athletes, local athletes, and use them as the advertising. So we say, okay, right, we'll do a poster with this athlete this week or today, and then next another one. So people are seeing local faces coming up on all of the adverts for the show, seeing who's competing, to try and build a little bit of excitement behind the event, and also just to keep reminding people that this event is happening on this date at this place.
So this is what I think is lacking. Look at like a marathon event. Every other time you will see an advert on TV, on so on and so forth, social media, you will see like the Standard Chartered Marathon. Everyone knows about it. So you have a physique competition. Where? Saturday, this Sunday, you know what I mean? Suddenly you just had a few snippets of Instagram, Facebook, and then you wouldn't see in the YouTube kind of thing. They need to actually put money into the marketing.
Yeah. So I mean, we did spend a fair bit of money on social media trying to with the marketing as well, quite a significant amount actually for the shows. Of course, bodybuilding events are not going to have most of the time the budget to do anything on television or anything like that, or even billboards, because that costs a fortune. But I think what a lot of events could do a lot better is just regular communications and updates and reminders, and just trying to build hype. Make it exciting, like videos. We were doing videos or little interviews with some of the athletes, talking to them about why you're competing in the show, why you want to compete in the show. And that definitely helps more people sign up for the show, because it's relatable as well, and it actually makes, because also in bodybuilding, unfortunately, I think sometimes people are not really sure if the show's going to happen, so they hold back to register, because so many times they've been cancelled last minute. International shows and some local shows where the show's on and then a few weeks out it's not on, it's off, or they just go really quiet and you're like, what's going on here? Is it happening or not? And then the rumours go around before the announcement comes out, and then the announcement comes out and it's off.
Like, I mean, I seen a recent Channel News Asia run about the lady, powerlifter lady, the one that beat a few records, world records, and they interviewed her, they show her background and stuff like that. Hopefully one day, that is actually one of the plus point where the fitness industry, in a way, the powerlifting one, helping the fitness industry. They did the interview at Strength Masters. I don't know which one. I think the one
I think it's the one at Pressburn.
Yeah, I think I was there when they were doing that actually.
So that's a cool thing. Actually, the lady doing it. I'm like thinking it could inspire other ladies to do it, and then probably that one day you can do have a bodybuilding champion or whatever, men's physique, whatever not. Just do something like that.
Can I say is it because this can be very controversy or something. I mean, like look at powerlifters, marathoners you guys mentioned and stuff, right? Is it because of bodybuilding, as known as the PEDs, that people are very conservative to take that step further, to be more exposed and to market it out?
Maybe.
Do you think so? I mean, it's a question for both of you.
It definitely could be part of it. What you mean in terms of like athletes talking about it, or
one is that maybe can be
the image, the whole image,
the whole image as a bodybuilder, even a men's physique, even a bikini. Probably from the own organization itself, they want to market it out, but they were thinking about being conservative about it. Should we speak about this? Should we just advertise? People think, when I expose my athlete, they are on steroids and stuff, or they just see a lot of hate comments and stuff.
I mean, there is a lot of that, but there's a lot of that, in everything these days, particularly online. And bodybuilding maybe has a certain reputational image for that kind of thing, but we all know, I'm sure all three of us know, that there are sports that make bodybuilding look like a joke in terms of like PED use. For example, like cycling. But does anyone complain about cycling? Not really. But so perception. I think the perception needs to change, and the understanding that yes, it goes on in the sport. Absolutely, it does. But the foundation of the sport has to be built on the fundamentals, which is the training, the nutrition, and everything else that goes in there. And this is that's literally just some icing on the cake. And whereas a lot of people think that is the cake, and it's not. And actually, a lot of it again is also genetics. So you can take as many drugs as you like, but if your genetics are poor, you're not going to respond to them, and you're not going to look very good.
This has come to a point where it's a good thing because the perception needs to change. When the funny thing is that when I travel overseas, Vietnam, Thailand, even Malaysia, right off before customs, right, when they chop my passport, you compete, yeah, previously as a training. So what do you eat? They ask you that first question. Well, not.
What do you take?
Yes, correct. They ask you how many hours of training per day. Well, chopping my passport. I'm like, oh wow, we're gonna have this conversation here. But if you talk to any local guys here or anyone, how much PE we taking? That's the perception need to change. But over there, it's legal, right? They don't talk about it, or they know that we are taking it in some shape or form. But they ultimately will ask what kind of food you eat. How many chicken do you eat?
I've had the same experience when I've travelled Thailand. Like the guy in immigration wanted to arm wrestle me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you didn't say anything about PEDs. And when I'm in the Philippines and stuff or anything, I always get very positive comments on people. They'll shout funny things like Batista or something.
You do look a bit like attention.
But I mean, funny thing is, when you talk about this kind of thing, in the UK, there's a very negative, or when I was there for sure, a very negative view on the general public in terms of bodybuilders. So people walk past you in the street, wait till they get maybe 20 meters away, and then they'll steroids. That happened to me in airports in the UK. All the time. They'd walk. You could see they'd be talking, and they'd wait. They'd get just far enough so they could run if you turn around, and then they'd yell something like, "How much steroids do you take then?" That's the UK for you. But I never experienced that kind of negativity in Asia. Never.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I travel around Asia. I don't get that. But locally here, right? Locally, same thing happened. I mean, I walk for a few distance, right enough to the point that they know when I got turn around, they disappear. They go, oh, they take a lot of stuff to be able to
I feel okay. My personal take on this, right? I agree with you in terms of Asia. I'm not saying Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia. Right? Yes, they are exposed to this, so they don't ask this kind of question. I mean, what years are you on? What PEs are you on? They're asking about training, food, and stuff. But here, I feel because I've met certain people, I spoke to certain people. Some would say that, oh, it's not good for us to mention about PEDs or share about PEDs. Some say it's good to talk about it. My personal thing is, it should be talk about it and to educate it.
Yeah, because at the very least, you might be able to help someone who would otherwise be doing something very unsafe, maybe do something a little bit better.
Exactly.
Or rethink their strategy, or maybe even not do something, which could potentially be reckless for them. Because there's a lot of young guys who are probably getting hold of stuff, they don't even know what they're doing, they don't know how to use it, and they're wrecking their hormones and their health.
Exactly.
And they're not even competing.
Yep.
They're not even in bodybuilding, they're just going to the gym and they want to take some shortcuts, not understanding the the chemistry and everything that goes behind it and the long-term impacts of that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Because I mean, I'm not saying this whereby I'm advocating them to consume it or to use it and stuff. It's just that basically it's best is we sit on the table, have this conversation. I'll tell you what's the pros and cons. If you're already using it, I'll help you to overview it, to make it better, rather than like what you say, just anyhow using it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, they're gonna do it anyway. So may as well help people do things the right way, or there's no safe amount of use, of course, but possibly in the safest way possible, most conservative way possible, so that they don't hurt themselves. If you can do that with one person, you've already won. If you can help one person not do something like that to themselves, and there are a lot that are probably doing it everywhere, not just in Singapore, globally, because there's a lot of misinformation around as well, and people take advice off their mates or other pros in the gym who also don't have a clue what they're doing, or they might. I've actually seen a lot of people send me what their coaches have told them to do, which was absolutely jaw-dropping.
What's the worst of it?
What's the worst? You want to know the protocol? Or you want... Okay, fairly recently, someone sent they were inquiring about peptide use and this kind of thing.
Oh, let's
and I asked them, so what are you doing at the moment? Like, are you using any peptides? Using any other performance enhancing? Yeah. So this guy, not a competitive bodybuilder, of course, right? Yeah. So it's taking like trenbolone, halotestin, winstrol, testosterone, clenbuterol, and I forget what else.
Is he depressed or just want to have his life?
He goes, oh, I'm not really losing any fat anymore and stuff, and my sleep's really bad. I'm like, yeah, surprised. So your body's just like in a state of like, what the hell is going on? I said, first of all, my first advice to you is fire your coach. He's an idiot. And second of all,
do you
just
know
stop. No, I don't know.
Right.
And second of all, just stop everything you're doing. Stop it. Just cut it out, because if you don't, you're going to be in the ground very soon. Because I can guarantee you're not even taking any precautionary measures here. Like, you're not taking anything.
Nothing, right?
Yeah, and you probably
no supplements going to help you.
And then the diet plan was another thing, which was also quite. I don't know. It's like some, it didn't know the amounts of anything either. I said, so what are you? How much are you?
Eyeballing it.
I have rice and grapes and eggs and chicken. I'm like, how much is it?
Just eyeballing.
I have like
1 cup.
But how do you know that? I'm like, I said, and this is the coach's instruction. And he sent me like a clip of what the coach said, and then I just sent him a screenshot of what my coach said. And I said, that's the kind of thing you need. This kind of like details. I said, what you're getting is absolutely bullshit. And I hope you're not paying this guy. That's all I tell you.
Is he still alive?
I believe so. I didn't go much further than that. Because
Toxicity, these guys.
I mean, I've had like other athletes from other countries who I've coached before and told me that their coaches were sending them preloaded syringes. They didn't even know what was in it. Women, females, by the way. And they were scared. Their coach would yell at them. They were scared to question them. So the coaches were very aggressive and forceful with them. And this is going on in the industry.
I guess this is extreme.
Yeah.
Selling preloaded syringe and just
Well, it is extreme, but you wonder like how common actually is it?
yeah. I mean,
Because there'll be a lot of people who won't say anything because they're scared to say anything, they're scared to question their coach,
yeah.
they're scared to reveal anything. So there's probably a lot of this going on that we don't know about.
Yeah, until everyone speaks up and you see the amount of,
And then,
it's normal actually.
yeah, because there's a lot of, unfortunately, it's a bit of a cowboy industry.
Yeah.
Like people just, so I'm a coach, I competed before, so therefore,
I just want a local show now.
yeah, so and then they kind of get this hold over their clients or the people that they're coaching, almost like they put them in some kind of trance and like just scare the shit out of them basically, or like bully them into buying all their stuff off them probably at ridiculous prices, and the quality very questionable, and then they don't even know what they're taking or why they're taking it. Just take this, and they don't question it. So pretty scary.
So I think that's the whole nutshell. That I think that education is way more important than just getting a list from a coach from the shopping list from A to Z and put it all in one go. You're also going to go to the place. But I mean, something as a athlete or even as a client or anyone else, you should be able to question why do I need all this? If those questions are not coming forth, and then the coach just keep on banging at that, and I mean, be mature about it, drop him and do your own research, talk to someone else, we probably have, I'll say, not say better knowledge, but experience in doing all this. At least on their point of view, we make mistakes, then we learn from the mistakes so that you guys don't make the same mistakes. You don't be putting your health on the line, especially you're 19, 18 or even 20 years old. There's no way in hell that you should be touching on this to begin with. I told you before, I have a seminar at Anytime Fitness. This is more like health and wellness. So one young boy, secondary school. What if I take Fred? I'm like looking at him. Wait, what? The rest of the it's in open seminar. The rest of the members, some of them know about it. The older ladies like, what is he talking about? No, he's talking about PEDs. They have to do a brief summary of what is Trenbolone is all about. So the history of it. Then I told him, look, you're this age. Listen to him, right? So his mom is not allowing him to do a lot of things. And listen, she's pretty good at it. Don't get all these things wrapped around your head. And next thing you know, he asked me about peptides. I'm like, bro, open seminar, right? Some of the guys are just recently, a young boy, and he came up to me after the whole seminar, showing me a TikTok page of a local boy from, I would say, the polytechnic, right? Public Poly, demonstrating how to use peptides.
Alright, let's talk about peptides.
Let's go.
Okay, I mean, I've seen the story yourself.
Yeah.
To speak about that. I mean, I'm 100% with you on how you reach out to the public and stuff, whereby you cover on certain peptides, the pros and the cons and stuff. So, do you have TikTok?
Apparently so, yeah. I mean, funnily enough, I have a VA who does post all my stuff.
Yeah.
So I send her the video, she fixes everything. I asked her the other day because someone was advising me on TikTok. I said, do I have TikTok? She's like, yeah, you do. I was like, okay, fine. Apparently so, I do, yeah.
I think use it and look what's going on in the TikTok currently. I think after today you should.
Actually, I tried to log on to it, but I don't know the password.
Okay. Because I mean, it's so exciting and stuff, right? I mean, for us to speak about peptides, we are in an industry. We did our studies, we did our research, we did our own experience on it and stuff. Yeah. Before we use it on certain people, right? Or advice on certain people. But for TikTok, it has been a very massive market in the sense of like you're selling fishes. 1 kilo at $10 and stuff. Yeah. And funny thing is, those who are selling them is practically just freaking normal influencers. And no nuts about it. That don't even walk on the treadmill or even hit steps for the day. And it's and I mean we all know, three of us, that peptides is not something new. It's been in the industry for a while. It's just that due to the existence of Gyro, Ozempic in the health department to help obesity people who have high cholesterol and stuff, then come with these three agonists, new peptide called rectify. Then it becomes a fat loss product that can help major people. So what I'm gonna put on the table right now is basically how can we basically ensure that these influences will be accountable of what's happening a few years down the road in terms of they are not famous people. We should be the one who does the educating.
We can't really do much about what they're going to say and what they're going to push, unfortunately. All we can do, I guess, is try and provide a very open, honest, and educated platform for people to gather information and make better decisions based on medical background, so based on their current medical background, based on their blood work, based on their goals and their needs. And then, of course, like if people are looking at asking for specific dosing, you've got to be very careful with that. But always go with a very low conservative clinical dose first before you touch anything. And of course, I would always advise people to do it under the supervision of a medical professional. If they're going to do anything like this, just to make sure that everything is okay and that they're not going to create any issues or exacerbate any existing issues by misusing things that they don't really understand. But ultimately, I think it's about just highlighting to people like, okay, what do they do, who are they for, and how should they be used? Not giving out doses or anything like that, because that can get a bit sticky, get a bit messy, and it's a very individual thing. But more like, okay, this is what a lot of people would be doing, and this is correct, this is not correct, don't do that. Just factual stuff, not opinion based. There's a lot of stuff that comes out, particularly with bodybuilding, particularly with PE, is based on opinions, not facts. So we can go into a rabbit hole with this and hold a discussion on all sorts of different compounds. But there's a lot of like people will give their opinions about certain compounds. Oh, this is wonderful. Whereas actually, if you look at the science and you look at the data, completely wrong. But people have them. Everyone believes that using this certain drug or compound or peptide is going to create this effect when in fact it will do the opposite. So they're basically barking up the wrong tree completely. And I see it all, hear it all the time. Like people are asking me questions about stuff and telling me what their coach is getting them to do. And I will tell them, like, if I think their coach is wrong, I'll tell them. I'll say, look, I respect as your coach, whatever. I'm not trying to. I don't care, you stay with your coach if you want to, but I'm saying I'm telling you what they're telling you is not correct. So you might want to rethink or question them because it doesn't make sense why they're telling you that. And if you look at all of the data and the science behind it, there's no evidence to suggest that using that is going to get this effect.
Sometimes we don't need to use it.
Or just don't.
Maybe you just need to diet properly.
People don't want to hear that.
Because
no
now,
one wants
like,
to hear that. Come on.
Now everyone was like, on peptides and stuff. Let's use Moxie. Moxie won't help with our mitochondria and stuff. Dude, you can improve your sleep, improve your dieting, go for your value and stuff, go for your strength. Balance your physique, everything will be fine. Unless you're so competitive and everything is piled up, you're training hard, you're pushing your food and stuff. Yes, we can advise you to use that. But if you are normal people, I don't think you even need to Moxie at all.
I mean, going back to normal or civilian, they never get blood work, right? No blood work. I've seen a few posts on Instagram, people screenshot, I lost X amount of weight on this or that time, blah blah blah. Then the question here is, did you do any due diligence in terms of blood work? prior to that. And then what I do get questions from people close to me asking me, hey look, I know about this person who's not so weight, should I be taking that? No, look, you get yourself your diet on board, move more, train yourself, or rather do strength training, and like what he said, get some sleep, right? Then we'll be fine. Like those guys, yes, I might admit that they lose weight now, but after they're on that thing will come back with so much ferocity that you'll be overwhelmed by it.
I've seen some pretty bad cases. For example, people who, even clients who I train who have got hold of Ozempic, not under doctor's supervision either. Not that it makes it any better necessarily if the doctor's not very smart. But for example, so they'll go and get Ozempic from a pharmacy in JB, and they lose a ton of weight, but they don't train properly, they don't eat enough protein, so they look like a bag of spanners. Basically. So they've got things that look awful, and they feel awful too. You're like, this isn't really how it's supposed to pan out, is it? And I have people all the time. One of the common questions that comes up is, should I be taking peptides? And my answer is probably not. Probably not. The fact that you're asking me that, usually it would, probably not. You probably need to sort out your diet. You probably need to train more than once a week, and you need to do some cardio, and you need to go to bed at a decent hour at the same time every night. Then we talk. Do that for a year, and come back to me and ask me the same question.
Improve your routine, improve your habits.
Just get a discipline in. That's it.
If you're, like I said on some of my posts about peptides, if your systems are broken, like peptides help to support systems, if your systems are shot, what are you supporting? You're just kind of creating more chaos, right?
100%. I think like what you say, our society now is more of a instant gratification. So that's a problem. Gone are the days when you actually, look at Arnold, he just train hard, yes, he has good genetics, right? Back then, there's no protein powder, they just eat eggs and so on and so forth, all nailing in the protein, and then science evolved and this and that. People stop doing the hard things. They want, there are people who still train hard and stuff like that.
You see it in the gym though as well, right? So you don't see people really putting in the grunt work in the gym anymore. You see them they're adjusting the seat, and they're getting the handle on top. You're like, dude, you've got no lats. What do you do? Just
optimal.
No,
you've got no mass.
The other one is you have the hammer strength incline machine. You got one side here, on it.
Or they're standing, it's still a seated row. You're supposed to sit on it.
There's a lot of seen in social media whereby she wanted to do a fly. How this certain person does it. You know the roller, the foam roller. Put the foam roller in, holding the bar, and doing a fly. It's optimal because you're not bending your elbow.
Why not you?
I do. Come on, man.
Alright then.
I also see some of them using the ankle cuffs, put it here, and then after that they do side lateral, the cable lateral. Just put it here, just hold it.
Or they want to do occlusion training. Whoa, you're taking a few steps to further right now. Actually trained first.
True. It's
people like shiny, sexy, gimmicky things, basically. And you can see that all across the fitness industry. That's why a lot of things can gain popularity very quickly, because they just appeal to people's lack of ability to stick with anything for any period of time. People have very short attention spans, they don't have patience, and they don't want to put in the hard work. So anything that can take them away from that, they're on it.
Good
example. Throw the money at it, whatever.
Good example is one of my clients. She sent me a video from Instagram. What do you think about this glute kickback? So basically, take a bench, stand on it, bring the cable slightly higher, stand on the kickback. I say, what's the difference between a normal kickback and this kickback? This is just for the gram, to make things sound and see complicated and say, oh, this is technical, it's optimal.
This makes our ass look bigger on the video.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, really? Yeah. When we do the kickback, do you feel your glutes? When you do contract and then work on the tempo that we are doing, I feel so. Why do we change? Why do you want to go do this? What's the difference?
So it's different.
Yeah, because it's different. It looks different.
I think this is the reason why in relation, the quality of competitors we have standing on stage. I mean, of course, those who really train hard, put in the hard work, will stand out.
Yeah.
And then you see these guys that blind pace, blah blah blah. Easy way out. You look at them. I mean, as a child, I look at them.
There's no like density
Yes.
to the physique. It's just kind of soft muscle.
Oh, either that is one thing, or they are up to the brim with chemicals that look, you are not that looking good.
When they come off cycles, like
Yep. I mean,
balloon.
balloon.
Oh, he's on cycle. Oh, he's off again now.
Now you know.
Alright, okay, so I mean, that's basically what's happening in the industry and stuff. Let's get back to you. I mean, since we are 60 an hour mark already. So you're running your own business right now, right?
Yeah.
It's called Fitness Guru.
Fitness Guru SG, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a random name that I came up with, and I don't even remember why or how.
But it's
just
cool.
kind of stuck.
It's true.
So, I mean, just to say, I don't think I'm a guru or anything, so I'm not trying to be like big-headed. It's just a name. It's a name. That's all it
Did
is.
you get that in your comment?
I think someone said that before, and I was like, yeah, whatever. But
I hate this.
I don't care. But yeah, the point is, it's not like me being big-headed. Like I know everything. I don't. I know very little really. You know, in the grand scheme of things. But
So with that, right, I mean, prior to business as Fitness Guru SG, when do you cover more into what kind of clients that you cover into? Like
most
performance, transformations, or more into like technical approach of improving someone's exercise?
most of the time it's people who are wanting to transform their bodies, their physiques, their lifestyles, and their health. So some people just want to feel stronger, and you know, be able to lift their kids up without throwing their back out. And then you know, other people are like, you know, they just want to once and for all get that fat off that they just never seem to be able to budge, and keep it off. But I really don't like the word sustainable, because I think if you want to do anything great or substantial, you know, the word sustainable to me is kind of a way of getting off the hook of doing hard work. You know, people say that, oh, but it's not sustainable. It's like, it's not supposed to be.
Yep.
You're going to change your opinion of what is sustainable, because you're going to have to, if you want to get there, what you think now is sustainable will not do that for you. But yeah, so it's mostly people who just, they want to get in shape, they want to feel good about themselves, they want to be able to wear their clothes confidently, and they want to be strong and not get hurt.
Yep.
Really.
So I mean, do you coach athletes as well?
I have done in the past, but not at the moment.
Do you stop or just?
I didn't
just
stop
wanna
it.
take a
I
break?
never really positioned myself as a bodybuilding coach.
I see.
There was a few people that I coached, you know, for a while, in person and remotely. But
What do you enjoy? Athletes or the lifestyle that
it depends. Both can have their pros and cons. If the athlete's very coachable in the sense that, like, the way I am with my coach, I'm like a robot. He tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. I don't question it, I just do it.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh no, can I
Yeah,
have this?
he says that
Yeah.
things that doesn't make sense. Then
Like, he writes me a meal plan, I follow the meal plan, and I go, what are the macros? Like, and I'm like, the meal plan, I follow the meal plan,
Yeah.
because that's how it's done, and that's how I've always had it with bodybuilding coaches.
Yep.
Like, they write me meal plans, they don't send me macros.
Yep.
And that's how I do it.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, then too bad.
Yeah.
Because that's what works. If I give you too much freedom and you can't track properly, which most people can't,
He likes it.
then you know, it's just like all over the place. Then they say they're having it, if you even believe what they're saying in the first place, and then they're like, oh, they're swapping foods in all the time. You're like, oh, I can't deal with this.
I totally agree.
So I'm a very kind of traditional person in the sense that, like, I like to have a very simple, structured meal plan. I don't like to give people macros, actually, even though I know them. I don't like to share it with them, because then they will start to muck around with food.
Yeah, I agree.
Or they'll go on MyFitnessPal, plug everything in, you give them, and they go, hey, how come it's this? I'm like, you've tracked it wrong. Just, I gave you a meal plan for a reason. And this is the reason why I gave you, because of this, what you're doing to me right now, which is driving me nuts. So yeah, athletes can be great if they follow them, as can general pop.
Yeah, sure.
General population can be just as big as a pain in the arse as athletes if they don't follow the plan, and then even worse, complain about the results that they didn't work to get to.
Very true, very true.
You know, so they didn't follow the plan properly, yet they're going to complain about the results that they didn't get. It's like, this is not how it works.
Yeah, I know.
You have every right to complain if you've done everything I've told you and it hasn't worked. Can't be happy. So.
Yeah, that's good. Alright, Alex, I mean, before we wrap it up and stuff, I mean, so what's your plan moving forward in terms of your growth and as an athlete, as a coach, and probably are we going to see you back in the bodybuilding industry?
No real plans. I mean, I guess I would like to be maybe more, I don't know if the word involved is the right thing in the bodybuilding industry here, but it has to be with the right people and for the right reasons, and so far that hasn't happened. So I'm quite happy just doing my own thing, you know, just focusing on my own. I try and, you know, I enjoy the whole process on the way. I love the process of bodybuilding, that's what I love about it. It's not about the stage for me, it's about just the mundane, you know, the robotic day in day out. I love that stuff. I love eating the same food every day. I love checking in every day. I love the training. That's what does it for me. So I'm going to keep doing that, and then just keep my business ticking over. Maybe find something that's a bit more passive income stream. Because PT is tiring. To be honest, I'm trying to change my PT up a bit now and cut out evening clients and just do the mornings and be done. Train myself, go home, relax, spend a bit more time with my family. Because my energy is pretty bad now in the evenings because I wake up so early, as you know, right? And then I train clients and then I have late clients. So I'm trying to just focus a bit more on energy and just trying to enjoy the process.
Alright, so where can my audience find like social?
I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and TikTok.
It's also Fitness Guru SG. Fitness Guru SG. So you guys can basically, if you guys want to engage him as a lifestyle coach, or even a coach if you guys want to compete and stuff, it's the man here as well.
Or if you just want to make inappropriate comments, feel free.
Alright, okay. Alex, thanks for your time. Making time for on a Sunday for the podcast. Yeah, it's a very value to have you on this podcast. Alright. Sorry, you got any?
Maybe we can have him in again where we talk about release or more in depth.
We have certain people we can bring it together. We have handful of people that we can do a good pro chat.
Sounds
good to me.
Yeah. So I mean, it can be educational and also can be more informative for anyone who wants probably dip their hands into this and then they go, oh wow, no, actually, when after watching the episode, maybe I might rethink what I'm trying to do. Something more informative, educational, and probably might prevent someone from doing something bad. I mean, you watch that YouTube. I've seen a few YouTube credible ones, channels that say, now I know why I did that, maybe explain the results that I get. So then from that, so basically in our local context, we need more of this. The fear of talking about this, I do not know why. Culturally, I think we're a bit more conservative, but that's strange enough from a first world country. A third world country, they're not really open. They're open about it, but they're more concerned about nutrition training. So I think this another episode talking about not only PEDs, about how we can educate people about peptides, PEDs, and so on and so forth. That will actually bring forth a better understanding of why we do things this way or that way, or how people compete. And, it's more like transparency. Transparency. And then I wouldn't say it would be more acceptable so that people, the general population, say, it's not just only the PED. We need to have training and nutrition, the whole lifestyle. That's like what you say. It's just icing on the cake. I've been saying that to many people. It's just the icing on the cake. You need to be waking up early in the morning, do your fasted cardio, eat meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. You regimented. You know what I mean?
Just for the audience. Some people think you're lying to them.
Just for our audience, right? I mean, if you think Sari is talking trash, follow Fitness Guru. Look at his story. Open your story at 3 a.m. Then they will.
Yeah, like what you said, they think we are lying. We wake up early, do our. It's not glamorous. We don't. Sometimes I don't even post anything. I just post about coffee. But in the back end of it, like what we said here before, we were asking, we're all eating.
It's the work that you do when no one's watching ultimately.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
There's 6 meals a day. When I'm in the kitchen in the morning, I'm prepping my breakfast for the next day. To make sure that everything's prepped. I'm doing all my supplements and everything, like organising. There's a lot that goes into it. That takes me. I wake up at 3. I'm not doing my cardio until 4:30 maybe because I'm taking an hour and a half to do all this prep. And my food has already been prepped for that day. But it's all the other extras that go onto it. So there's a lot that goes into it that people don't see, and they just I think they don't appreciate the amount.
The reason why we bring people like you on this. Alright, thank you again, Alex. Alright, thanks guys. Just before we end this up, just to let you guys know that it's sponsored. This podcast is sponsored by Full Stretch Performance. Do drop to their socials and their website to book your slots,
and make sure that your schedule and their schedule align, so you don't miss out any slots that you can be able to get in. Right? They're quite busy, so make sure that you get in.
Alright. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share on your notifications and stuff, and spread the word. We'll see you on the next episode. Ciao.